Howdy guys, just Grizzly here. Just doing a quick video on DIY mag prime. So for DIY mag prime, you basically just need a tactile switch and a diode. I like to use these 10 amp diodes, so that way you're not risking burning out a small diode. The ones in the Scar V2 that they come with are a lot smaller, but I've heard that some people have had theirs burn out, so I'm just using these 10 amp ones. Haven't had one burn out yet. You don't really want to use a diode any bigger than this, because if you go anything bigger than that, you're not going to be able to fit it inside the receiver, especially on the M4A1. So, on the Scar V2 you've got a lot more space inside the actual receiver, so you probably could get something bigger if you wanted to, but yeah, these are fine. Buy them dirt cheap off eBay. Alright, with the charging handle on the M4A1, you need to use a bit of hot glue and glue a tactile switch onto the charging handle. I used a bit of hot glue over the actual wires themselves, just so that way there's not any stress put on the soldered joints on the switch. And you can see the wires held in there quite nicely, so that's not really going to damage any of the wiring unless you really yank on it. Alright, so this switch, it has to come into contact with the receiver, it has to interfere with the receiver when you pull the charging handle back, and that'll activate the mag prime. Where it interferes on the receiver, it's just like the charging handles you can buy, so if you're just doing this to your charging handle that your M4A1 comes with instead of buying one. Just wait for the camera to go into focus. Alright, so this is the piece of plastic here that switch will interfere with. Demonstrate that for you. Alright, that took a little while to get in there. It's in. Hopefully you can see that alright. So when charging handle is pulled all the way back, the switch interferes with that bit of plastic. Alright, hopefully you can see that. Okay, now I'll put a mag in and hook up a battery and show you actually in action. By the way, with the inside of these gearboxes, don't trust any of the colours of the wires. It doesn't really mean anything when they're assembled in China. For example, this is actually positive, this one, but it's black, so you got to really just trace everything back to the battery and figure it out from there. Okay, so batteries in, mags in, and it works. Now if you do this wrong, if you have the diode facing the wrong way, when you go to press the mag prime button, you'll run your main motor. Now, that's why I don't like the charging handles you buy for $15. They pretty much have a switch with the diode in line with the wire, and these are very small diode. Now, in theory that's fine because it's only running the mag motor, which is a small motor, so it's not going to have, a large draw on current. But if you wire it backwards and you have the diode face the wrong way, you'll pretty much instantly cook your diode because you're going to be running the main motor through it. So I like to use a big diode, and in this instance, if you did wire it wrong, you'd be more likely to blow this little switch here before the diode. And the switch is sort of forgiving because you can press it, you'll see your main motor run, and then just don't press it again. Fix it up, rewire it, and you won't burn it out. While we're on that topic, all the upgrade motors you can't really find any data sheets on them, you know, exactly how much current they're designed for or anything like that. The switches that Chainsaw sells, the Omron switches, they're SS5GLs. So these are basically like an upgrade switch as far as I'm concerned. I've looked into it, gotten a data sheet for one of these, and they are only designed for up to 5 amps. So we don't have any data on motors. Like, this is a red motor here, and this setup, we don't have any information to know, you know, is that more than 5 amps? Are these switches even actually good enough? I don't know. But I'd suggest getting a fair few trigger switches, especially if you're putting an upgraded motor and running 11.1 volt LiPo inside your setup, because you will burn through your trigger switches without a MOSFET. You can actually buy them online for quite cheap. I got 5 for $4.09, so yeah, pretty dirt cheap, so grab a few. That way, when you burn out, you can just change them over. Yeah, that's pretty much most of the video. So I'll show you guys a few quick things. Might help you with the theory side a bit more. Oh yeah, that's the Omron switches I got off eBay. There you go, 5 of them, SS5GLs for $4.09 with free shipping from China. Alright, so this is a quite literal representation of how it would be wired. So you can actually physically see the layout. Oh, accidentally opened up BlueStacks. Alright. There we go. So you got the battery, and it goes to the trigger, and it goes to the mag prime button on the negative line, and it hooks up to the front mag connector with the diode, with the silver band facing towards the trigger, and then that connects to the other side of the motor. And then you have your other mag connector come up. So that's pretty much a little representation. Here's a pretty much schematic. So that's a normal setup without mag prime. You got the battery, you've got one switch which runs 2 motors. That's how the M4A1 Gen 8s come stock. Okay? So what we're pretty much doing to add in mag prime is we're adding in a diode here and a second switch. So when this switch is used, it creates current flow just down this path, and the diode acts as a blocker to stop this motor, the main motor, from running. And then when the normal trigger switch is used, they both run. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. But yep, that's the video. Hopefully this helps you out.